Hi, I'm Mike Goldsby. Today I'm going to talk to you about design. Design is beginning to gain attention in business. Design thinking encompasses how to look at the world, think about things in the world, and conceive new ideas on how to improve the world. Herbert A. Simon, a professor and 1978 Nobel laureate in economics, once said, "Engineers are not the only professional designers. Everyone designs who devises courses of action aimed at changing existing situations into preferred ones." Let me give some examples. The Great Pyramids of Egypt and the Hoover Dam, while separated by thousands of years, are both great achievements in design. We marvel at their appearance and imagine the labor that went into building them. But the immense structures would not be there at all if someone had not first devised a plan to build them. The plans were not perfect, and no doubt many mistakes were made in the construction of both. Slaves were likely crushed by the huge blocks of limestone that canvassed across the sloped faces of the pyramids, and in building the Hoover Dam, the U.S. Department of the Interior cites 96 industrial fatalities, such as drowning, blasting, fall rocks, slides, falls from the canyon walls, truck accidents, and equipment issues. But through perseverance and adjustment, each great vision was achieved. Although most things around us are not on par with these man-made marvels, everything around us is an outcome of a design of some sort. So design is the process of shaping an idea into an artifact, which is something we can observe and manipulate. When we design, we bring an idea into the world for others to comprehend. We don't have to ask the designer what the idea means. The artifact speaks for itself. A well-designed artifact is embraced by the target audience, whereas a bad design leaves the user confused and/or uninterested in the artifact. A designer, which can be anyone who comes up with a new artifact, has an idea, and then they tweak and transform it into a desirable or needed form. Understanding the interrelationship of these concepts explains why management philosopher Peter Drucker used McDonald's as a prime example for getting across his points in his classic book, Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Peter Drucker said, "Hamburger stands have been around in the United States since the 19th century, but in the McDonald's hamburger chain, management was being applied to what had already been a hit-and-miss mom-and-pop operation. McDonald's first designed the end product, then it redesigned the entire process of making it, then it redesigned or in many cases invented the tools so that every piece of meat, every slice of onion, every bun, every piece of fried potato would be identical, turned out in a precisely timed and fully automated process and ready for the customer." Finally, McDonald's studied what value meant to the customer, defined it as quality and predictability of product, speed of service, absolute cleanliness, and friendliness, then set standards for all of these, trained for them, and geared compensation to make sure it happened. This observation captures how McDonald's became so successful utilizing design. The hamburger was designed to be affordable and tasty to a wide market. McDonald's was innovative in how they made the hamburgers, transforming the cooking operations from a grease cook approach to more of a manufacturing assembly line in the kitchen. Finally, the company professionalized the way the restaurants are operated and created a model that could be replicated easily and profitably anywhere in the world. We'll next cover some guidelines for design thinking. First, accept that constraints are part of design. Good designers are always faced with choices in how they develop a new product or service. They would like to be able to make a product fast, good, and cheap, but they are almost always forced between picking two of these qualities. If a product is made fast and good, it may require a lot of resources to pull off the achievement in such a short time. If a product is made good and cheap, it may take a while to refine the production process because organizational resources haven't been supplied in great amounts yet. And if it is made fast and cheap, the quality may actually suffer. This is the reality of design, but the best designers see it as an invigorating challenge to handle rather than shrink from. The best designers take a can-do attitude about wicked problems, and they use their resources and constraints as a source of inspiration. As Tim Brown at IDEO explains, the mark of a designer is a willing embrace of constraints. Without constraints, design cannot happen, and the best design, a precision medical device or an emergency shelter for disaster victims, is often carried out within quite severe constraints. The willing and even enthusiastic acceptance of competing constraints is the foundation of good design thinking. Second, designers seek the peaceful coexistence of desirability, feasibility, and viability. The best designed products are desired by their customers, can be reasonably built, and make business sense for the company. This is attained by designing the product with the user in mind. The designer observes, researches, and interacts with the customer to attain a good idea of what the customer likes and responds positively to. Aesthetics are taken into consideration that the customer will find pleasing and interesting for that particular group of customers. Thus, aesthetics may vary greatly from one region or segment of the country to another. The products should also be reliable and easy to use for the intended customer. The products must also be feasible for the company to manufacture. If the product is too complicated or intricate to be produced in great numbers, the company will have to strongly consider whether it should be produced. Thus, a major aspect of commercializing a product is deciding what materials, components, and fabrication techniques make the most sense for manufacturing it. And finally, the business viability of the product must be considered. The product might be interesting and well received, but if it doesn't make business sense to produce it, it may need to be modified or dropped. Again, Tim Brown points out that a competent designer will resolve each of these three constraints, but a design thinker will bring them into a harmonious balance. Third, designers are proactive. Inspiration is an important starting point for working on a project, but a more important element of design thinking is having a proactive disposition. Most people get excited by ideas and the possibilities for where they can go, but aren't willing to put in the hard work to develop them. But good designers work hard, in fact, real hard. So the motto of a good designer could be, get busy. Fourth, designers are humble. A humble approach is designing products or services is one of the most important thinking characteristics you can have. This may seem contradictory to some achievers, but humility, properly understood, leads to better results. The designer must recognize what they don't know and be willing to ask for help from those who do know. Fifth, designers have a flexible mind. One of the biggest pitfalls of people working on the idea is that they hold too tightly to the original conception. A designer maintains an open mind to the possibilities of what an idea can become with the input of others. By taking the feedback and tweaking the idea through multiple iterations, good design emerges. A designer must be open to new directions that any idea can go. Finally, designers focus on the idea. This element is one of the hardest to learn. You need to keep the focus on the idea and not yourself. You and the idea are separate. This is important because as people give you feedback on your idea, you want others to know you will not be offended by comments they may have about it. If you approach this with the mindset that what you are getting is information and opinions that will help build a better product or service, you will bring more benefit into the market in the long run. This is difficult because we often take feedback as criticism of our ideas or even of us ourselves, since we came up with the original idea and we feel like we're a part of it. But that is a very limiting perspective to have. This concludes our talk on the general characteristics of good designers. Future talks will address design skills and behaviors. Thank you.